Hey everybody, Glenn Traer here, Mountain Man Journals of Traer Wilderness. Thought I'd shoot a video here today. I was out on a little bit of a trek, me and my pooch, and just out enjoying nature a little bit. And thought I'd shoot this video here of how to start a fire. I'm going to use a ferro rod, but I'm going to do this video. I know there's a gazillion videos out there on how to start fires, and I mean, everybody that's about making videos on bushcraft and survival and stuff shows you how to make fires. So I'm not trying to harp on something that's old, but it's very important. But I wanted to show you something that places to look for some dry tinder if it's wet. Here in northern Idaho, it's been raining. Well, it snowed for a while, and then it rained, and then it snowed, and we got a little bit of snow this morning. So things are pretty well soaked. I mean, I'll show you here in a minute how soaked things really are. But I'm going to show you a place to get some dry tinder and that. I'm going to drop my bags here and my gun, and after I do that I'll show you more on where to find some dry tinder. At least here in the northwest, you know, where there's a lot of pine trees and such. Back east, you know, you can find the same stuff. This might be a little harder to find, but you can do the same thing. So, show you here quick. Sorry about the shaking, but show you here. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if I can. You can see there on that tree all the water on those. I mean, there you can see it just fell off. So you can tell how wet, you know, how wet it is right now. So, alright, well, I'm gonna drop my stuff here and we'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so I already got my my fine twigs and that all gathered up. I didn't want to bore you with that. There's a lot of good information out there on how to do that, and I'll show you a little bit how I do it. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of good information out there from you know, all kinds of guys. You know, Dave Canterbury, Jamie Burley, Sarge Ferrier. Sorry, Sarge, if I butchered their name. Snowwalker, Critter. You know, there's a bunch of good guys, and I know those guys are all kind of related in one way or another, but they do have a lot of good information. So I'm not going to bore you with you know, that type of information on gathering the twigs and stuff. But what I am going to do is show you some really good things that you can use here to get your fire going, especially as wet as it is and without any char or fire cubes or anything like that. So I'm gonna turn around here and try and get this camera set up here for you. But this is what you're looking for. These trees that have woodpecker holes in them. Those real old trees, I mean, that one's broke off at the top, but in those holes, fellas, is some very dry tinder. And I'm gonna get this set up, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so this is what you're after. This stuff right here, all them fines. Here's some real nice stuff right there. And again, you want to keep in mind which side of the tree this is on, and you know, where the sun is going to hit the tree, and kind of where the best side of the tree to get this stuff from is. But I'm gonna get things set up here, get this camera back here and get it set in here so you can kind of see how I do this. Sorry about this, I gotta fasten the camera to my pod here. So, okay, there we go. Now, what I do is I like to take a piece of bark or something like that and take it. Like, here's another good spot. You just might have seen a bunch of this stuff fall. All the bugs have chewed a lot of real fine material in there, and that stuff is dry. I mean, that stuff is bone dry. But what I'll do is I'll take see if I can get a little better piece of bark here. But I'll take my knife and I'll get in these holes, places like here. I mean, that you can see how soft that is. I can just take that and stick my knife right in there. That's the stuff you want to get. That stuff right there. I'll pull that off. Man, that's good stuff right there. Real good stuff. You can't ask for much better than that. And I like to get a lot of the fine stuff too, not just the coarser stuff. So I'll take the stuff with the fine shavings and I'll gather a lot of this stuff up. And you can see there all that good rotten material. And you can also make char. You can make char out of this stuff. So, you know, if you don't have char or something, you can make your char out of this, like punk wood or whatever you want to call it. These woodpecker holes and this real chewed up rotten wood here that's really dry. But I try and get a whole pile of this stuff, and I got that. That's probably about what I'll use. And I'll show you something else here. I'm gonna head over through to my site, and I'll show you where I'm gonna set up my camp, and I'll show you something else that works very well too. I guess I could show you one thing here while I'm here, if it's dry. If you can see it back here hanging, I'll try and zoom in for you. Now, you don't necessarily have this back east, but right in there, there's old man's beard or lichen. That stuff, if that's dry, that makes really good fire tinder too. At least in the west here. So I'm gonna head over to the camp and I'll show you another really good thing that I've found that works really good for getting your fire started. So I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, so right here is where I'm gonna set up my fire and have my fire and everything. But this is what I wanted to show you. These dead pine nettles right here. These are dead. Obviously you can see the difference between these and these. These, I just take these and I strip these right off the limbs, and those there are incredible. I mean, just incredible. And they can be damp, wet, preferably not soaking wet, but they'll work. I'll gather up a big old handful of them, and I'll show you what I do with them here in a moment. But those things right there, those dead pine nettles, work awesome. Really good. So I'll be right back with you as soon as I get these gathered up. Alright, so hopefully you can see all this. What I like to do first is I'll find me a piece of bark, a nice piece of bark like this one, and I'll take and hopefully you can see this. I'll put my pine needles on the base right there like that, and then what I'll do after that is I'll take my whatever, my rotten wood or my stuff we got out of the woodpecker holes, and I'll put that down, a lot of that down on there. And what that'll do, if you catch that stuff on fire, if you catch that on fire there, that will hold an ember a really long time. I mean, that will hold a really, really long time. So I'll show you here. I've put my pieces on top. I hope you can see that okay. On top of my pine needles. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take my ferro rod and I'll just take that, and I was taking. Okay, right there we got it smoldering already. Come up here and show you. Try not to bounce this camera around, but there you can see how that stuff will just smolder, and they'll just keep catching other parts of that on. And I just breathe, blow on that. And I take my fine twigs, my real fine twigs. You always want to start with real fine twigs. Always start with your fire lays and stuff with fine twigs. That's what you want to catch. And then we just blow it to life. And it might take a little bit longer with this type of stuff versus, like char cloth or something, but and like I said, these twigs are really wet. So it's going to take a little bit to dry them out. Long, steady blows. Now, we'll take and set this whole thing down. Watch out, pup. Watch out, Rambo. And we'll start putting some more stuff, just laying it right on top there. Now this stuff is all wet, so it's got to dry out. It's going to really smoke on you. and being it's really wet, you might have to, you know, cater to it a little bit more than normal. You're standing on my wood, buddy. Yeah, you're standing on my wood. I just throw it on there. You know, like Dave said, fire likes chaos, so. So, there you go. So, I better check this camera. This thing shuts off on me in 10 minutes, so I better make sure where we're at. But, so, I hopefully you got something out of this. Like I said, I'm not trying to repeat or, you know, beat a dead horse. But, you know, I mean, things work differently all across the world, all across the U.S., you know, all over the place. Things work different. So this is just something that works real good for me here. You know, ferro rod, you know, I didn't have no char, nothing like that. And you can see, hopefully you saw good how this all worked and how everything went. But I'm gonna take the time here to relax a little bit. I apologize, I haven't had much time to make videos and that, but I've just been really busy. And I'm gonna have some spruce nettle tea and just kind of kick back and relax. So maybe I'll jump back on here a little bit later, I don't know. But if not, till next time, take care guys, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Alright guys, so we got a good old fire going there. Got our nettle tea going, and thought I'd show you something here quick, maybe a little tip or trick that maybe you could use, or whatever. But show you here, bottom of my haversack. It's a haversack I made out of some brain tanned elk hide that I had brain tanned a while back. But anyways, here on the bottom, this here, I keep my flannel in there. I keep some other small stuff in my reusable space blanket in there. I have my squirrel roaster in there. But on the outside here is a piece of neoprene off of a pair of old chest waders. I cut a section out of that, and that works really nice to if you're coming out in the woods and just ground's wet, you know, take that and put that down. You can sit on it and keep your butt dry, and just a little, you know, don't weigh nothing, you know. So I just thought I'd show you that there quick, and maybe somebody can add that to their pack. So alright guys, well, take care and God bless.